There are different sensor sizes out there, especially when it comes to the smartphone market. At least there's still a form of uniformity when it comes to DSLR or mirrorless cameras. But still, the size of the camera sensor affects the image quality, and I'm here to explain why and how. Hi there, I'm your favorite Durati, and in this video I'll be explaining how sensor size and pixel size affects the performance of a smartphone camera. Before we start, we have to understand what a camera sensor is. Okay, so basically, the camera sensor is like the retina of your eye. It's located behind the lens and converts all the light information coming at it through the lens into electrical signals, which then forms the image. On your sensor, you have tiny dots called pixels, which are responsible for the light capturing and conversion. There are millions of pixels on every sensor nowadays, and we'll talk about this and how that affects the image quality later on in the video. Camera sensors vary in sizes, and then the larger the sensor, the bigger the ability to capture light, and then the smaller the sensor, the lower the ability. You see, when you have a large sensor, it means it has a larger surface area, which undoubtedly leads to easier light gathering, and this will be very useful in low light conditions. In a sensor, like I said earlier, there are pixels, and then these pixels are separated into boxes. Let me give an illustration.
Okay, so let's say we have two sensors. Okay. Okay, and then they are both 12 megapixel boxes. So I'll separate them into 12 boxes, and let's say that there are 1 million pixels in each box. So as you can see, 1 million pixels in this box are larger than the 1 million pixels in this box. So this box has more pixels, it has bigger pixels, not more pixels. It has bigger pixels than this box. So it's safe to say that these pixels can gather more light than the pixels in this box, because this sensor is a larger sensor and this one is a smaller sensor, and then the pixel size here is more than the pixel size here. So this one can gather more light collectively than in this smaller sensor because there are smaller pixels here. So the larger sensor gathers more light. Basically, when light hits the larger sensor, it has a larger space. Basically, it has a larger space to receive the light and then determine the overall average color of the light coming in, and then which leads to better color accuracy. And also, in the smaller sensor, it has less space to gather the light, and then it leads to like less color accuracy. So it just gives it off as white. The sensor just gives off the color as white. It just says the color is white, while this actually has more space to determine the actual color that is coming in. And in low light conditions, this is very visible as noise because the pixels here don't have enough space. They don't have enough space to determine the color of the light coming in. So they just determine it as white. And then when this one determines it as white, if these boxes are just pixels on a smaller scale, if we look deeper and in these boxes, we just see these boxes are pixels, then this pixel determines this color as white, and then as a high color, maybe like high brightness, like let's say 30 nits in low light conditions, in 30 nits, and this determines the lights at 35, and then this determines at 60, and the other as 100. There is no similarity, there's no uniformity between these pixels, and then this will lead to noise, and then you might see grains, either grain or just blue, red, and green dots in the picture, and then this is bad. But then here it has more space to determine the actual color of light that's coming in, so it has more color accuracy, and then it's actually better, it performs better in low light conditions.
If you're enjoying this video, a thumbs up would be nice, a subscription will be massively appreciated, and you can also click on the bell icon to make sure you get notified every time I upload photography tips like this. Also, if you're new to photography and you're having a hard time understanding the terms and camera gibberish, I have a playlist explaining everything, and it will be in the card here. And now back to the video. You see, noise is caused by sampling errors between pixels. Larger sensors find it easier to determine the color of light coming in because they have enough space, they have like a larger space to work on for the light to come in. But then in smaller sensors, the space isn't that much, so it's harder for them to determine the color of light coming in, which also leads to varying brightness between pixels, and then the colors between pixels, and then which results to noise basically. So noise is basically a disagreement within the pixels, when there's very little uniformity between the brightness of each pixel. Now, as a bonus, the size of the pixels also determines the quality of the image. If we compare our two 12 megapixel sensors from earlier, you see that the pixel size of the bigger sensor is also bigger than that of the smaller sensor, so more megapixels might be bad in some cases, and that's probably why the iPhones have lower megapixels but then they still have great image quality. So the takeaway is larger sensors equals to larger pixels, and that is better because they provide a higher dynamic range, better color accuracy, and then they perform better in low light conditions. So let me know if you understood the whole pixel and sensor concept down in the comments below. If you loved the video, a sub would be massively appreciated. If there was just decent, a thumbs up would do for now. That's all for now, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.